Hi everyone, this is AlphaAli. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's alright. Today I'm doing a plat VOD review for Nab. Nab is a long time viewer on my chat and has saved up 5,000 channel points in order for me to do a VOD review. Once again, you can get your own VOD reviews, just have to save up 5,000 channel points by literally just like watching the streams and stuff, and I will gladly do it on like stream, and then I upload them to YouTube afterwards, and I do re-record them as well in case like things go wrong, because this happened quite a few times. Yeah, so we have Nab here. Nab apparently doesn't really play a lot of Mercy or doesn't really like Mercy, but they're plat and they wanted to get a VOD review, so I was like, hey, you know what, might as well. Love the honeybee skin as well. Love honeybee Mercy. It's always so cute. And I guess we'll just hop right into it. So looking at the comp that we have, I've only like literally just played my first game with Lifeweaver as Mercy, and it feels like I need to heal quite a bit. So it will mean that you have to like play a lot like with your team and stuff like that. But it's all good. You seem to have the right idea of obviously your main pocket target being your Ashe. So obviously, you know, you do want to like sit here and damage boost. On this like kind of like first point, I always kind of like recommend damage boosting whoever's like attacking that high ground. Okay. Everyone's kind of like seems like flankers and stuff like that. Instead of doing these like super jumps into the air, I'd recommend doing them like up onto the sides and stuff like that. So if you're doing a super jump like up and stuff like that, do a directional one instead and kind of like do it up onto these high grounds and stuff, because it makes you a lot safer and a lot kind of like out of the LOS, right? Especially because what's it called, like, you know, the enemy has got like a cast and stuff like that. It makes you a lot better if you just like come and like super jump, play on these high grounds instead. And I forgot I'm on this account, but yeah. So nice like healing on your Genji here. Lovely helping onto your Ashe. Yeah, you should have been healing your D.Va here, which I think you kind of like realized. You need to be okay. So throughout this entire like kind of first fight, it kind of seems at the moment that you like you like this super jump and you think, oh my gosh, like this super jump gets me up, right? Main tip with super jump: do not use super jump as a position, but instead use super jump or kind of like any tech to reposition, right? So instead of instead of super jumping up into the open and that being your position because it makes you very vulnerable, instead use that super jump or use the GA to flick yourselves up onto here and use it to reposition instead. It's one of Neandra's like biggest quotes, and I fully stand by it as well. It is such a good idea. But overall, like you need to like be damage boosting a little bit more. Like for example, when your D.Va like wants to try and get back into mech and stuff like that, you need to be damage boosting her, because damage boosting her gets her mech like a lot quicker as well. And obviously, yeah, you like done really well going for your Genji here and stuff like that. I think overall you did really well that first fight. It's just you just need to like make sure you use that super jump to get position. Okay, here. Oh, unfortunately, you have been left on the payload. If you went forward a bit quicker here and went with your Ashe, because you shouldn't be the one to push payload. I always say Mercy shouldn't be the one to push payload, because especially if she has a pocket target, it makes her so much like, it makes her more valuable. So instead of like just waiting here for like the payload to start, I'd be pushing forward with my Ashe and going forward. It should hopefully leave your Lifeweaver to push point, but it's all good if you would have kind of just left here. I'll skip it forward a bit. Okay, no, we're not gonna skip it forward a bit. Hold on. We'll go back. What's happened to you? Hold on. Okay. So. Okay, I would have like gone in for the D.Va a little bit sooner, because instead of just like hanging about on this cart and stuff like that, I would literally like still keep an eye on your team and still keep an eye on like what's going on and stuff like that. What I would have done here is kind of like put my beam on and kind of like disconnected it, or if you can reach it here, same thing. And then obviously peeling for your Ashe here, which is great. We'll see what happens now. Obviously your D.Va's used bomb. You know where that that Doomfist is. Same thing again, right? You kind of like super jumps up here, but you kind of forget that the enemies have hit scans and stuff, especially because they've switched onto Widow and stuff like that. Yeah, well, like, once the team fight kind of starts on this payload, you don't need to be exactly on it. Like, I feel as though you were, you kind of like like, it was all good, like, coming obviously all the way down here up until it kind of reached this corner. And then when kind of the fight started happening on this corner, I would have backed off and played this bus round here. Or, like, played in this room over here. Maybe not the room, because the Doomfist can obviously, like, punch you in it and stuff like that. But definitely more, like, round here. You can, like, help your Ashe play, like, round this corner and stuff like that. And then instead of, instead of, like, going up and then just staying up on top of this, like, it's the same thing where it's like you super jumping up just directly into the enemy hit scans, right? Just keep playing this low ground, play over here, and you'll be a lot safer. So carry on. Lovely, nice, like, kind of, like, peel back. Obviously heading to spawn. When your D.Va's, like, not below low HP here, and your Genji has an angle like you did, damage boost the Genji, right? Because, sorry, my voice is starting to go a bit. If you damage boost the Genji here, he can get those shots in. And then once your D.Va's took damage, the Doomfist will obviously go off because the Genji's pressured it. And then you can heal up the D.Va afterwards, right? Instead of, like, going straight to heal the D.Va. Just getting in those, like, little bits of extra damage boost and stuff. Okay, Genji's signaled blade, right? So obviously you'll want to, like, be sure you're ready to go in with this blade. Because, especially because you don't have it on, he's going to struggle to do anything, like, with the blade by himself. Okay, I'm gonna... Okay, you shouldn't have come over here, right? This whole kind of scenario got a little bit weird, didn't it, over here, right? So coming back to this kind of... I'll rewind it back, okay? Sorry, the colours have changed as well, by the way. It just happens sometimes. Right. Starting off with this scenario here, I would have GA'd when your Ashe got up here, come up here, and played on this high ground, right? Because it means your Doomfist has to physically come up to you and to attack you. And also, if you play it right, the Moira won't be able to reach you either, right? So literally, all you want to do is, like, get with your Ashe, come up onto this high ground here, and just play that high ground. Because I feel as though it would have stopped you kind of taking all this, like, unnecessary damage, and obviously being, like, helping like this. Your Genji bladed, and I don't really understand kind of, like, why, but, you know, go him. Then you make this decision, right? I would have not slingshotted yourself forward over here. I feel as though, like, you could have done, and then you could have, like, res straight away, but you kind of, like, hung about and think, do I, don't I? If you came in and made that direct decision of, I'm going to res behind this payload, because these guys are too far back, and you can use the cover of the payload to res, the Doomfist is distracted, right? So literally what you can do, you can come in and res directly. And that, I think that, if you want to make that play, that's what you should have done. Or if not, you should have just, like, waited for your D.Va to respawn, right? So, and then you kind of, like, hang about, and it's like, should I, shouldn't I? And then this scenario happens, right? This should have been a literal straight away, res the D.Va as soon as I can. D.Va will then protect you, or, like, you can, after the res, you can back off over and kind of, like, play over here, right? Get yourself far away from this cast, and then if you kind of, like, heal up the D.Va, she should be able to remech, and then you can carry on the team fight here. D.Va pushes forward, and obviously, depends what the rest of your team do, like the Doomfist and stuff, because they're all a bit distracted right now. But if you wanted to, because obviously you made that GA, if you wanted to secure that, I would have just gone in straight away and done that. But it's all good. They nanoed as well, which is huge. And we'll just respawn. So going forward again. Same thing, your first priority shouldn't be just to heal up your D.Va here. It should be to be with your Ashe. Which is what you're doing really, really nicely now. Love this distance. Obviously, you need to play a bit more forward. Right, I want you to unbind this crouch button. Start, like, there is no need for you to super jump here. There is no need for you to, like, jump half the time that you're doing, right? Just unbind that button. Do not use it. Especially because if you need, like, to super jump, you can flick upwards as well, right? It's just making you, once again, very, very vulnerable. Okay, this one's a lost team fight. I just die here. Like, there's no point trying to, like, get yourself out there because you're not going to get out. I think overall that fight was, like, quite messy from your entire team. Hi everyone, sorry the stream ended up crashing a little bit, so I don't know why we kind of, like, got up to. My chat kind of said it was, like, after Nab died, so we're going to continue on from here. And I'm just going to, like, repeat some of the stuff that I said and everything. So at this point, I don't really know what happened here, whether like you had like a bit of a lag spike or something like that. But here you want to be damage boosting your Hanzo, damage boosting these storm arrows and stuff. It looked like you had like a bit of like a lag spike or something, so I don't really know. Oh, and I said to you at this point, right? You want to you want to, what's it called? You don't want to be super jumping. I remember saying to you at this point, please like stop spamming this super jump and just like, what's it called? Like unbind it, unbind it. Like you know, like if you ever want to do a super jump, you can just use a directional one upwards as well. But yeah, a lot of the time you're just spamming it and you have no purpose in why you're doing the super jump. It's like, oh, let me super jump. It'll be safer. When in reality, you could position yourself better and safer using the super jump rather than just super jumping. But anyways, I like this damage boost as well onto your DPS here. This is great. Well, it's a really good position. And then we Valk. I said I remember saying, right, you position yourself a lot better like the end of this Valk, which is like here. You position yourself so nicely when you get up onto the higher grounds and stuff like that, right? Lovely. The start of your Valk could be a little bit better. And then also, you could have damage boosted a bit more, right? Because the only person that was kind of like weak was your D.Va that was half HP, right? Half HP D.Va is still like 300 HP, so it's fine. You could just push the damage boost. Your life weaver will heal. You just, what's it called? You sit here and damage boost a lot more. We're going with the block, which is fair enough. Go on. Slay. Nice. And we go back to healing. It's alright if you don't get the res off though, right? Because people, what's it called? If I was you here, I'd push forward with your team, because whoever has like needs respawn and stuff like that, they can just come and push the payload, right? Because it normally, especially with a lot of payload maps, it takes a minute for like the payload to boot up before it like carry on moving. So literally what you could do here is, because your Ashe is going to come back and push it, you could just push forward and come forward and just damage these people here. Try and get an early pick, because an early pick, you can take an early fight and then just you roll them basically. But it's all good. Love this backwards GA though. But you're not really like paying attention to the fight here. You need to be paying attention. Damage boost. As soon as like someone gets antied, flick that damage boost on, right? I love how you're positioned here now, right? It was just, you kind of like took a minute to think about it. Same thing again with the super jump. I like this res. Especially because you have your tree up as well. 100% correct, yeah. Like idea to res there. Slingshot back, all good. Slingshot it back again, very nice. You're very kind of like stood like in the open a lot, like around here. You kind of like, when you kind of like slingshot yourself back here, play this wall now instead, because at the moment you're in direct LOS of all these people. You want to instead come over here, all right? But we'll carry on. Once again, damage boost. You want to be applying the damage boost as much as you can with your team. Lovely ping. What are we going to do here? Yeah, you just need to stay with your team. Yeah, it's alright. You need to reset here. That's all good. They've used like 2 ults on you as well there, so it's alright if you need to reset. But when I play the game, I legit focusing, so I don't so hard I don't think. But like that's the thing, you need to like, what's it called? The main thing with Mercy is like your position and stuff like that, and I think you need to kind of like, not so much like, you know, like whenever you like play, you just need to think, okay, what is the safest way I can play and not spam the super jump. Nice. Lovely peel for your honor here. I like that super jump. And I love how you got the pistol out there as well. I'd put it away though. Yeah, okay, right. Let's talk about this, okay? I loved this suit. This was like your one, probably no offense, but one of your like, probably like one of your only good super jumps so far. I'm gonna be honest, right? Because you kind of like did the super jump up onto here, perfect. Because you're out of the way of that Doomfist, you can help your honor, perfect. Then you kind of like went in and tried to like to DPS the Doomfist that was down here, right? Perfect. I like that play because obviously your team isn't here to help you. You and Honor need to help yourselves. So perfect. Get behind him. Get behind that block. Shoot him perfectly. Love that, right? Then you went to go and like help your Honor, but then you kind of like got a little bit lost and you just like stood out in the open like this, right? It's once again, it's like positioning. Just play back here. Help your team out here. Play back here. Perfect. You don't really need to do anything like fancy. And you kind of like ended up sadly dying there. Your Honor ends up killing another, which is great. Oh, so sadly you don't have your team to help out. Got a little confident. Yeah, it's alright, don't worry. It's all good. As we go in. I would just slingshot myself into the room that you're like kind of in now. It was going to get like a little bit safer. Same thing, right? You're ducking and weaving against this Widow. You absolutely do not need to, because you can just stand in here. You could literally, what you should have done is come out of spawn, slingshot into here, and then just help your team out here. Because now you're ducking it and diving against a Widow that you don't even need to duck and dive against. You can just play over here. But we'll see what else happens. Same thing where it's like you're trying to heal someone as well that's antied. Stick that blue beam onto them. Because you're going to do nothing. Valk? I don't know whether I agree with this Valk. Yeah, I don't know if that was a good Valk or not, I'm going to be honest. Just purely because some of your team I don't think were back, and you very much used it just for these two people that were pushed up, that were already very weak and antied, right? I think this should have just been a team fight loss, and you save your Valk for the next one where you can combo a lot of ults together, especially because you're getting into more towards this overtime scenario, right? I would have saved my Valk here. But it's all good. Back in spawn. Wants a damage boost. Lovely. Lovely. I love that. I'd heal him up here, just so you get him. Okay, here you want to commit with this Bastion, right? Because looking at a full kind of like, looking at your team and looking at who you have, right? Your main blue beam target now will be your, what's it called? Will be your Bastion. The reasoning is because Bastion gets a lot more consistent damage, doesn't need the pocket, unlike like Widow doesn't need the pocket because she has like one-shot ability. And so you should literally, what you should have done is healed him up as he was walking up these stairs, because obviously he's got no one to shoot at. And then once he peaks this top bit, you can just stand on these stairs and damage boost him. Honor was him, so he didn't need healing. It's not the healing, it's the damage boost he needs. Because, okay, yeah, cool, you're going like with your Orisa and stuff like that, but what will happen is if you're with the Bastion here, Bastion gets a pick, they're all going to back off, all scared, like, oh my gosh, they got a pick, and like, you know, they're going to back off. This leaves room for your Honor and your Bastion to push out more into this high ground. Honor can get a sightline on the Orisa that's going to walk out here, walk out main. She can heal her up if needed, but remember, like, Orisa has, like, what, like 400 HP? She's got a massive health pool. She doesn't need you to be with her here. You need to be up here with your Bastion, damage boosting, alright? But we'll see what happens. Yeah. I don't know whether you would have been able to help out more in that scenario, because obviously they did kind of like Doomfist ult you, but you should have definitely been with them. Yeah, because you kind of like, you ended up just standing like AFK, just like looking at them. I think if you made the commitment with Orisa, if you made the commitment with the Orisa, then you make the commitment with the Orisa and just stand there with the damage boost. I mean, you can still avoid the ult, right? Because if he's going to ult you, you should be playing at max beam range anyways, right? So max beam range is probably the bottom of these stairs, right? If a Doomfist ults in here, he's going to either ult onto the Bastion, in which case you just walk back and you get run with your team. Or he'll ult you, in which case you can GA slingshot yourself over here. Or he's going to ult in between you, in which case you just back off, let him like ult, and then if he, depends on who he focuses, if he goes to go and focus you, you just walk out and walk around here. Or if he starts to focus whoever, like your Bastion and stuff like that, then you can just re-peek it, help him out with that blue beam, right? But obviously you made that commitment with the Orisa, but they didn't fully go in with the commitment. It was like, oh, I'm going to stand here and think, oh gosh, what is happening? When your Orisa's still pushing forward. Put that damage boost on your Orisa, maybe try and get a super jump up to see if you can help someone, which I don't think you were probably going to be able to. But honestly, just walk forward with this Orisa, damage boost her, and commit if you've, obviously, what's it called? You've chosen her. That's all good. We'll go forward. Same thing, you want to damage boost here instead of like being on the heal mode, because a nanoed Orisa ult can just, like, it charges up so quickly, honestly. And also she's anti, same thing again. You want to damage boost there. Sadly she falls, it's all good. Lovely. Oh, lucky that he got woken. Go on. Oh, that's just unlucky. I think as soon as like he kind of like used the block and like got some more shields up, I would have like got away. But at the same time, I don't know whether you would have been able to. So I think overall nab, it's good. Like, I don't like your positioning at like gem. If you're not super jumping, your positioning is good. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think the majority of the time your position is good. There are like a few like little bits where you end up like peeking out in the open and stuff like that. But stop spamming that super jump. We do not need to super jump all the time. We use super jump to reposition, and we don't use it to just go up into the air and think, I'm gonna be safe here, right? No need. And then the other thing as well is stop healing anti-targets. As soon as you see that blue kind of like sorry, purple even, it's purple. As soon as you see that purple health bar and like they're antied and you hear the like the little noise, stick that blue beam onto them like straight away, or go and like help someone else. But anyways, move on to here. So you have Cass and Bastion here. I said this to someone else on another VOD review on Noon Barney. Whenever you're pocketing people on this high ground, you can crouch down and stand here, because this blocks this entire like LOS from here. Basically it stops anyone that peeks underneath this sign from getting you and stuff like that. I remember saying this like quite recently to another VOD that I did, but literally just crouch down here and stand here, because it's like the safest you can be whilst pocketing. But so here your cast is what's it called. Your cast is push forward. You want to damage boost your cast. Okay, there is no need for you to get your pistol. I'll be here, right? All you should have done here is as soon as your cast backs off, you back off. And you back off over to here, right? Because your main two blue beam targets are here. You have a Hog who has a massive health pool, and you have a BAP as well that does a high amount of healing, plus damage, a lot of self-sustain for himself, and also a very broken ability of, you know, Lamp, right? So what you want to do is you want to back off here, play with your cast, obviously because your cast is slept. You want to damage boost your Bastion, because your Bastion might have a sight line on everyone, and then as soon as he's working back up, you want to help him, alright? I like this crouching behind the car though, perfect. As soon as your cast like drops, you sort of drops with him. Nice peel for your Bastion. Same thing, right? So you're playing very, what's it called? You're playing very out in the open to this Widow. Like, you know where this Widow is. This Widow has tried to take a shot on you like 3 times now, right? You want to, what's it called? You need to crouch under here and then back off. Like, you can play up here because obviously the Widow will have to grapple up onto this high ground if needed. You literally, all you need to do is just play up here, basically. Instead. I res. You are so lucky with this res. You should have resed easier. Doom was such a problem this game. Yeah, exactly, but like still you need to be wary of this Widow as well, to be honest. But yeah. No, honestly, you should have died here. Once again, you took a little bit too long to decide like whether you wanted to res or not. And then it was like, oh, and then as soon as you started, he dropped onto you. It's like, oh my gosh, if you wanted to res, you should have started that res off sooner, as I feel as though it would have been a lot more handy and helpful for you. But anyways, see what happens this next fight. Same thing, like you have no, yeah, there is absolutely no need for you to be pushing out here, right? Because if that Widow hit that grapple shot onto you, and your BAP is still coming back from spawn at this point, this is a free team fight 1 for your team, right? Same thing, just play it safer. Play over here. There is no need for you to peek. Main though, basically. But it's all good. I love this damage boost. As soon as you hear that Doomfist, try, because you can like use Angelic Descent and like float off the platform here. When you hear that Doomfist, literally do that. Float off this platform, because he's either going to have to bypass the Cassidy in order to get you, or he's going to focus the cast, right? And as long as you're not taking damage as well as the cast, then it makes it so you're going to be a lot safer. And also, if he wants to focus you, hopefully the cast will turn around and help you. But we'll carry on. I like this peel there. Sadly, I think he kind of like thinking into a deflect. Oh, that GA is so unfortunate. Like, counted itself, didn't it? Love the slingshot away, though. But sadly, you are just gonna die. I think your Genji kind of carried that. The Genji kind of, what's it called? His, what's it called? What do I mean? Like, focused quite a bit. But it's all good. Got your cast, that's what I meant. Got your cast, and sadly, I think it kind of like fell apart from there, especially with like all the ults that they used and stuff, but all good. Same thing, you're still very out in the open here. You want to like use your GA to cross. I'm not going to carry on repeating myself about the super jumps, but I feel as though you kind of like get the idea now with all these super jumps that there's better places to position. You have this like obsession of like, whenever people aren't doing damage, you need to go out yourself and do the damage. There's no need. Honestly, with Mercy's Glock, I feel as though the only good places that you can get your Glock out is if someone is very weak and out of position. Or if, obviously, if the person you're pocketing ends up, like, dying to this 1v1 and you finish off the person. But anyways, carry on. Lovely damage boost on the Bastion ult. I'd Valk here. Right, same thing again with with just the super jumps, and we Valk. Lovely, right? I like this. Okay, so we'll talk about first of all. Okay, I love this damage boost on the Bastion ult, and then I loved how you went to go and peel for your BAP, and then I would have as soon as you got your Valk in that scenario, I would have Valked, even though your Bastion has like sadly died. I think you might have been able to get the res off on him. But let me peel back. Sorry, the colours have switched again. I'm just going to watch this from like a third-person perspective, right? Damage boost that Bastion. Absolutely lovely. Go to peel for your BAP. This shouldn't have been a super jump. This should have been a kind of like, get your beam on him, get out, and play back here, right? Carry on. Oh, we got punched off the map. Okay, fair enough. You can't help there, right? But you got your Valk at this point. I would use the Valk at this point, right? Because your Genji's really weak. Widow's still coming back from spawn. Obviously, you got Lifeweaver and Honor, and how's Doom doing? Obviously, Doom just uses all. He's still quite weak as well, right? To secure this team fight out, you can just Valk here and just help people, right? So I would have Valked. And the same thing, right, with the super jump. You're putting yourself in so much harm and risk for no reason, again. So, super jump up, don't do that. Literally, once again, stay low to the ground, play around this cover, like round here and stuff like that. I would have Valked, but all good. And then whereabouts are you? You're here, right? Obviously playing around like Genji. And then we Valk, alright? Valk should be straight onto a damage boost because obviously, you know, you have no one to what's it called. And then you go for this res. I love this res, right? But if you want to do this res, drag it down behind this car because you avoid the damage from these two. And also it means the only person that's going to be focusing you is this Genji. And looking at the distance from this Genji from you, and also you're in Valk, I feel as though if you drag it down here or drag it around, just kind of like make yourself a little bit unpredictable, res it down here, it's a safer res for you, alright? And that's how you end up dying. But I feel as though a lot of this scenario could have been avoided if you Valked sooner. But apart from that, like, it's just kind of like little like positional bits and stuff like that there. But I like that res, I will say. It's just you should have done it below cover. Didn't see the Genji would have killed me. I got jump scared. No, it's alright now. It's all good. See what happens now. Okay, so same thing. You need to, instead of like putting your little sprays on the ground and stuff, we should be looking at the team fight ahead. Look and see what people are doing. Obviously, lovely bit of positioning here. Okay, if anyone comes and flanks you up here, you will die. Okay, so there's no need to be like, you can do like spot checking 100%, but you need to keep your blue beam on your Bastion and just kind of like flick from the team fight up here, because obviously if someone comes and pushes you, you just GA, or like you come down here, like drop down, and you're out of the LOS of whoever comes up here, right? Because I feel as though what you're going to do is you're going to push forward, aren't you? Yep, you're going to push forward with your Glock, and you don't need to. You have so much value if you stay forward here and you just sit and damage boost your Bastion. Here, you should be damage boosting your Bastion again, because what's it called? Bap is in his lamp. Bap is very, very healthy. He also has Winston. Bap's heals are very, very good as well. So instead, you should have, like, what's it called? You should have pushed the Bastion damage boost, push that here instead. Just unfortunate Nano Blade. Gets free. I feel like, I don't know, how were you positioned here? Let's have a quick look. Sorry the colours keep flipping, by the way. It's because I have the colour bind settings on, so it randomly flips it sometimes. Let's have a look at this again. Okay. In this scenario, you should, damage boost the Bastion here and play kind of here-ish more with this wall because you're very out in the open again over here. So I think you should, play a little bit more back here. But, I don't know. Just he gets those 2 dashes on you. This Genji's a really good Genji, to be fair, looking at his gameplay and stuff like that. But it's all good. We'll just wait for you to respawn. It's the same kind of thing and stuff like that. You need to play the cover a little bit more. Yeah, it's just, you need to like play the cover a little bit more. Like, there are certain points where you have like such good positioning, and then there's other points where it's like, your position's a bit whack, and I don't really understand why. Same thing again, you're still very out in the open, and now you correct it, which is really, really good. You have Pharah, so that means you should be playing with your Pharah now. Lovely. Lovely peeling back for your team, though. You still, as soon as people are healthy like this, so you still need to be looking out for your Pharah. Definitely keep flicking like to your Pharah and looking where, where they are. Because especially like against their comp, your Pharah is going to be your big escape route and stuff like that. Because if the Doomfist comes in and like slams down and stuff like that, or like the Genji comes in and like dashes and stuff like that, honestly, your safest position is going to be with your Pharah. And also because Pharah struggles a lot to survive without the Mercy, especially with the comp that you've got as well. Like, it's not like you have an Honor that'll be able to hit her and stuff like that. Lovely GA though, waiting for that to go away and stuff like that. Same thing again, don't put that heal beam on. You should have like literally just stuck out with the damage boost. I don't think he would have done anything because he was still shooting into the deflecting Genji. But do that. Just kind of like, you should have put the damage boost on him, but then he did end up shooting to a deflecting Genji, so you can't really do anything. Going to contest the cart. Honestly, just play with your Pharah here. Remember, your Pharah is still alive. So honestly, you don't need to do this GA onto the cart, right? As soon as like your BAP ends up dying, you need to look up and think, okay, who is my next person? Pharah. Go with your Pharah. And although and you can kind of like drop down and then use your GA to fling yourself back up and then contest it like this, or you can like kind of like sit on this high ground, kind of like GA yourself down, or like kind of like drop yourself down to the point and then GA back up and up onto here if needed with your Pharah, because your Pharah is going to be the one that's going to help, like basically kind of carry this team fight. Because even though they obviously have like an Honor and Life Weaver and stuff like that, if Pharah gets a damage boost, can 2-shot. So you end up dying, which is unfortunate, and sadly we end up losing that game, I guess. So overall, Nab, like, I like your damage boost and your healing at certain points. It's really, really good. Like, once again, your management is good. First of all, we need to stop super jumping out in the open, okay? Don't use super jump to, don't use super jump to kind of give yourself a position. Use that super jump to reposition, as Neandra would say, as I've like mentioned quite a few times today. Just that super jump, right? And even you don't even need to do that, the crouch super jump. Use angled ones. Use like the jump slingshot to do like ones up into high grounds and stuff like that. Second thing is like just kind of position yourself generally in like some team fights and stuff. Like you need to position yourself like out of the way and out of the enemy's LOS. Like if the enemies can't see you, the majority of the time they're not going to focus you, right? So you want to play out of the way in those corners. And then I don't know whether I mentioned, but also don't heal anti-targets. I think that's like also one of your biggest ones, because like as soon as someone gets antied, if you kind of like feel like, oh my gosh, I need to like get ready to heal them and stuff like that. Anti, I believe, lasts at the moment, I believe it's 4 seconds, right? So you can kind of like count it in your head, and then once you kind of like get more used to Mercy, you could like kind of like know by like knowledge and stuff, like I know when they're gonna be on antis and stuff like that. So you can stick the blue beam onto them, or stick your blue beam onto someone else, and then go into heal and stuff like that. But Nab, I hope that was okay. Thank you so much for everyone on YouTube or like on the Twitch as well that's been chucking around and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all later. Bye.